Hey everybody, Chris the Cop here. Welcome back. Thanks for watching. Hey, we got another SWAT, Ready or Not 1.0 tutorial on how do you clear a room and flashbangs, CS, and I want to say pepper ball, but stingers. It's been that type of day. All right. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All right, so I decided to do another tutorial, and I wanted to really talk more about the kind of the techniques on room clearing, and you're going to see that in just a few minutes. There's really only a couple ways to really clear a room, and that's running the walls or going down the center and filling in those gaps. And I think watching the AI in this, the AI uses the running of the walls. No one technique is wrong. There's several techniques out there, but you got to remember that buildings and houses are not empty, so running the walls is a little bit difficult. So in reality, you're kind of doing a hodgepodge of the two. And you're also going to hear my take on, because many of you ask, well, when do you use CS gas, and when would you use a sting grenade, and so forth. So that's in this video as well. So I said I want to keep these videos short and simple, so we're going to forget all that business side. If you want to check out some of my other videos that I have, I've played so many other tactical games, door kickers, SWAT 4, the list goes on. But let's jump into this and let's get this tutorial out of the way so we can focus on others. All right, I'm interested to hear your comments. Once again, put them all down below. Subscribe, like, and hit that alert button. That's the like. Hit that alert button so you know when I upload these videos. All right. All right. So in our last tutorial, we talked about room entry, and we talked about using the button hook and the crisscross. Now, in some of the comments, some of you had commented about people standing in the doorway. So let's talk about that real quick before we move on to room clearing. This is considered the fatal funnel. This is what they call this, the fatal funnel, standing in front of a door. Now, if we did not do this, we wouldn't have a term for it. So this is obviously something that needs to be trained upon, and I can tell you this, no matter how much training you do, you will always get officers and SWAT team operators, and I don't know if the military, but speaking from my experience, you will always get people who stop in the fatal funnel and look before they go into a room, or pause there long enough that if there was someone nefarious who wanted to do something bad to the officers, they would have that advantage. So it does happen, okay? And we want to, I should say, we want to not do it, and that's why it says train and train and train. So we don't, like I said, we just don't want to do it. Now, once we get into a room, despite the fact button hook, crisscross, whatever your team, high, low, whatever your team decides, there are a couple different ways that you can clear a room. And if you're going to simultaneously do this, you should be deciding on what you're going to do. However, if you are the person that is behind the first person that's going to make entry, you do have to go off their lead. It's a lot easier in real life because I can see the direction they're going in, right, because they're right in front of me. But if we go in and I button hook right here, so now the next person is behind that is going to go, and they're going to come in here and they're going to take this area. Now I could run the walls. That's what they call running the walls. Clear left. Or you can actually, the person will come on here to cover that. The next person will come on in, and you kind of just walk the middle of the room, look behind the door, and you move forward. Suspect, suspect. And you could go down the middle. Now, going down the middle is a lot more realistic because most houses or most buildings aren't open like this. There's furniture, there's tables, there's chairs, all that type of stuff. So you are really playing to what you have in front of you. Now, let's talk, or someone else that we wanted to talk about. Let's talk flashbangs. So when the door opens, one of the best things you could do is you're actually, when you throw a flashbang, you have the legal responsibility to know where that flashbang is going to go. So just like this, like we do in this game, I'm going to throw it up against there and let it bounce. Boom, goes in, and then we go in. Oh, suspect. Okay, no, that is not bueno. Okay, that is not good. So you have to say, you let your partners know, I'm going to throw this in that deep corner right there. Okay, so I get my bang ready, get it primed, and I'm going to throw it, peek out a little bit, and toss. Oh, behind us. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, peek, and toss. Toss in that corner. Boom, now we go in. Suspect, suspect. So there we go. So you're supposed to toss them in corners. Now, people ask about flashbangs, and I guess maybe we'll call this one room clearing and flashbangs. Flashbangs are designed to do a few things. The first one is to disorient, to give us the advantage. That's what it really is, to give us the advantage. And if we could get that by disorientating the person, that is great. However, it just sometimes doesn't work that way. I've been in rooms and we have practiced with flashbangs and they throw them, they go off. But when you're ready for it, you can actually keep in the fight. It does send out that concussion, but once again, if you're ready, you can survive the disorientation that we're looking for. The brightness is designed to give us that millisecond of bright light, so then that way the operators can move in and the person's eyes, just like when you look in the sun, you're trying to adjust, as well as the noise. You're not going to hear, you're not going to be able to hear everything that's going on. So it's really a distraction device, and that distraction comes in many forms. It could be blinding, a quick blindness, hearing loss, the concussion, and then just the sheer surprise. And I want to talk about that. Some people have made comments, you don't need to breach a unlocked door. No shit. Okay? It's like, you really got to throw that in chat or throw that in comments? No kidding. I'm breaching an unlocked door because I want the element of surprise. Do teams really do that? Yes. That's why we throw flashbangs. That's why we throw pepper ball. That's why we have distraction devices. That's what C2 is. It's not just to get into a room, but it's also to cause a distraction. We sometimes will throw flashbangs in the back of a house or in the back of a building as we enter the front, or vice versa, for the distraction part of that. So that is a part that is not, that you can't do in this game, because in a lot of these scenarios we would have banged the rear or the front of these buildings to give us the element of surprise of going in another entry. So we just can't do that in a game. So that is one of the other things that this game is missing. Now, in regards to CS, some of you have asked about CS. Some of you have told me that you just CS all the rooms. We don't do that, okay? CS, believe it or not, requires calculations. You have to know the room size. There is the formula where you have to ensure that, I was never a grenadier. I never had to go to grenadier school, but they're given a formula where they have to calculate the square footage, the type of CS gas that they're using, cold, hot, those, because there's various different gases. The hot gas are the ones that you have to put in the medical canister, and you want to get them in the middle of a room as opposed to not in the corner, because they get in the corner, they're so hot that they can actually catch curtains and fabric on fire. So then you have that fire, and we've seen houses burned down from SWAT operations. But they have a calculation because it's theorized that too much CS can displace the oxygen in a room, thus killing our suspects or anybody else that's inside there. So we just don't throw CS. It's just not what we do. If the military does something different, obviously they have a whole different mission. So CS gas, we just don't do that. But in these scenarios in this game, we do have to utilize CS. And then on the last part, let's talk. I think we do have pepper ball. No, we have pepper ball. Oh, that's not pepper ball. I didn't bring any pepper ball in. Pepper ball is. Now, people ask, okay, so what? So we'll talk about that real quick, and I guess we'll just leave it at that. Choosing the right. We'll talk about room clearing, and then we'll talk about CS gas, or flashbang versus CS gas versus sting ball. And I say pepper ball because there are sting ball grenades that have pepper spray inside of them as well. That's a gift that keeps on giving. So sting balls. When would you choose a flashbang over a sting ball? Flashbang is for more of a distraction. You don't know what you have. You're not going to use a sting ball just arbitrarily in a room and throw it in there. A sting ball, for all the times that we have deployed the sting ball is designed that you have a barricaded suspect, or you do have a suspect in there, and you want to get their attention, so you throw that in there, and all those pellets bounce and hit all over them because they're rubber and they bounce and all that type of stuff. So we're actually sending it in to an area where we have a known suspect. So if that helps, that's when you would throw a sting ball. So if you peek a room and you see some bad guys there, sting ball it. If you peek a room and you want to use flashbang, go right ahead. CS gas, I already explained to you the CS gas, so that is the differences right there. I think that's about it. So I'm actually going to leave this tutorial at that. We're going to call that room clearing, quick room clearing, so you could run the walls or go up the center, showing you where you would throw a flashbang in real life. We talked about the utilization of flashbangs as opposed to CS gas. And last, sting ball grenades. So there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself, take care of one another. I still have this slight cough. We can make the world a better place by just helping one person at a time. That could be with a simple smile, a nice comment, or a nice gesture. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris Copper reminding all of you, peace, and use those grenades accordingly. Take care, everybody.